15 Top Attractions in Barbados. From the boulder-spattered east coast, to the shimmering stretches of sand that line the western shore, the pretty colonial bridges and statues of Nelson in Bridgetown to the crumbling plantations and fishing towns of the north, Barbados is a truly enthralling and fascinating Caribbean destination to say the least. For ideas on how to spend your time, watch our list of attractions in Barbados. Number 1. Bathsheba Beach. Whether you come to Bathsheba to wax up the surfboard and don the board shorts for a ride over the swells of the iconic Soup Bowl, experts only, or to gawp up at the striking cliffs and protruding rocks that sprawl and pepper the sands and the shoreline alike, you can rest assured that you're in for a real treat. Unquestionably one of the most picturesque seaside spots in all of Barbados, this one makes its home between the craggy headlands of the east coast. Number 2. Downtown Bridgetown. Bridgetown, the nation's capital, is home to a wealth of attractions, but it's also simply a beautiful place to wander around, shop, or grab a meal. The downtown is easy to navigate, and most of the sites are in close proximity and can be visited on foot. The landmark Parliament buildings, easily recognizable by the neo-Gothic style architecture and clock tower, and the National Heroes Square are two of the main sites in the city center. Number 3. Animal Flower Cave. At the northern tip of Barbados, the Animal Flower Cave is one of the top places to visit, not just for the cave, but for the dramatic views from the lookout above. From February to April, you also have a chance of seeing humpback whales from the cliffside above the cave. Be sure to take a cave tour. They only take 15 to 20 minutes and are led by a guide. A short staircase takes you down into this unique cave. Large natural openings offer windows out to the ocean, and pools formed by the spray from waves act as reflecting ponds. Number 4. Crane Beach. Crane Beach is a beautiful soft, sand beach tucked in a cove on the Atlantic coast, surrounded by high natural walls. The white sand, tinged with a hint of pink, looks out over blue and turquoise waters, while offshore waves break on the reef. The beach was once a boat landing where cargo was unloaded and lifted by a crane set atop the cliff. Perched like a castle on a cliff above the beach is the luxury Crane Resort. If you are a guest of the resort or stopping in for a meal, you can access the beach from the resort via a lift or a long set of stairs. Number 5. Barbados Wildlife Reserve. The Barbados Wildlife Reserve is a great place to see and enjoy some of Barbados' most notable creatures, including the island's famous green monkeys. You can often see the monkeys interacting with other wildlife at the reserve, entertaining themselves by pestering tortoises and other inhabitants. Shaded trails meander through the mahogany forest in this peaceful park. Try to time your visit so you are in the park at 2 p.m. for feeding time. Number 6. Farley Hill National Park. Like an undiscovered Mayan ruin in the jungle, the remains of the great house on Farley Hill are overgrown with trees and vines, creating a scene perhaps more dramatic than when the hall was in its full glory. You can often see green monkeys, sometimes with youngsters, lounging in the trees in behind. Number 7. St. Lawrence Gap. St. Lawrence Gap, about 20 minutes from Bridgetown on the south coast, is a colorful 1.3-kilometer section of street known for its restaurants and shops. Most of the activity here happens in the late afternoon and into the night. As the evening goes on, the area becomes more and more lively. There's a bit of something for everyone here. At the west end, where the street comes down to an oceanside walkway, you can dine along the waterfront at places like Primo, with an indoor area and outdoor patio overlooking the ocean. Restaurants and other places in the center of the strip are much more casual, with street-side stools where you can watch the action. Number 8. Hunte's Gardens. Hunte's Gardens is the culmination of Anthony Hunte's vision and years of work creating this masterpiece. Set in a gully in the interior of the island, The gardens are laid out on terraced slopes with stairs and winding walkways meandering through the lush grounds. Number 9, Harrison's Cave. If you've had enough of the heat and brilliant sunshine of Barbados and are craving a cooler, darker place, then head underground to Harrison's Cave. A visit to this cave is accessible to almost all because the most effort you need to expend is getting into a tram car. The cave is dimly lit, but the major stalagmites and stalactites are highlighted with their own special effect lighting. Some of the highlights include flow stones, silent pools, and flowing streams. Number 10, Bathsheba Beach. Bottom Bay, on the Atlantic side of Barbados, is a secluded golden sand beach accessed via a long set of stairs and shaded by towering palms. Cliff walls line the beach on both ends, and the azure-colored water extends out to the reef, with the deep blue sea behind reaching out to the horizon. It's likely you'll have this beautiful spot all to yourself. Number 11, St. Nicholas Abbey. Head through the green fields and palm groves east of Moor Hill in northern Barbados to discover the elegant Jacobean facades of St. Nicholas Abbey. One of only 3 heritage sites of its kind in the Western Hemisphere, the site dates way back to the 1600s, which is when sugarcane was first raised and harvested on the fields around the central house. Unusually, the crop is still cultivated here today, while St. Nicholas Abbey itself has become a museum site, inviting travelers to explore its restored interior rooms. Number 12, Garrison Savannah Historic Area. Just a stone's throw from central Bridgetown on the southern side of the island is where travelers can delve into the medley of history and sporting action that is the Garrison Savannah area. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the spot hosts buildings like the George Washington House, where the erstwhile first president of the United States once took refuge in the 1750s. There are also a series of ruined barracks and fort buildings used by the British. Number 13, Flower Forest. The flower forest is an unexpected treat in the hills of central Barbados. Colorful flowering plants and trees line the trails, and shade-covered benches provide places to sit and relax. From the high points are beautiful vistas over the lush hillside and beyond to the ocean. The road to the flower forest is narrow and hilly, but it's paved and less daunting than it first appears. Number 14, Welchman Hall Gully. The setting for this lush tropical garden and the natural feel are what sets it apart from many of the other gardens on the island. Lying in the remains of a series of collapsed caves, the gardens and trees surround you as you walk along the wide, wheelchair-accessible path. Number 15, Barbados Boardwalk. The first of its kind in the entire Caribbean, the Barbados Boardwalk links up almost 2 kilometers of beachfront around the southern coastal stretches of the island. Flat and well maintained, it attracts walkers and joggers, who can go all the way from the pearly sands of Rockley Beach in Hastings in the east to the coconut groves of Coconut Court Beach in the west. Along the way there are countless little rum shacks and bars to enjoy, while there are also swaying palm trees and blooming cassius, pretty clusters of fig bushes and plenty of places to sit and take in the salty sea breeze. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel.